happening, Cowboys Nation, and welcome to Christmas week. It's our special Christmas week, and first, I hope everybody's staying inside and warm. I know pretty much the entire country has turned into the North Pole. We had snow for a little bit here this morning, and the wind's howling. It's just nasty outside. So stay bundled up.
It's wild. It's so cold. I saw the cold front coming across the United States. I mean, it's like 60 degrees here. That's ridiculous. I don't
know. You're suffering so bad out there in
Suffering.
We feel so bad for you that we've dropped to, I believe, somewhere around 19 degrees currently, and with 40 mile per hour wind gusts.
Yeah, it's like the one good, like the one benefit for me. Like, I know other people like other stuff. I don't like the beach. I'm not a beach guy, so that's not a benefit for me. But like the weather's like the one benefit for me of living in Southern California. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Our thoughts and prayers, Mass. You'll be okay.
I know. It's got my heater blaring right now. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm like, and I guess this is a Midwestern trick, and I didn't know it until we froze a couple of years ago that I had to put firewood in my pool because the tension, if the pool freezes, the tension goes into the wood and it doesn't expand in the sides and won't burst your pool or crack it in the ground. In the case would be with my pool. Yeah. So.
I don't have to worry about that out here, but yeah.
Right. So, well, okay. So, Jags game. They're, it's painful.
It's a rough one, yeah.
It's painful. We have many reasons why it happened. Things could have gone differently. Let's just briefly go over it.
Yeah, it was a rough one. When we went up 28-10, I kind of relaxed and was like, all right, we got this game. And then it spiraled out of control very fast. And then, when we went ahead at the end, I thought, okay, we're going to hold on. We're going to win. And then they tied it with the last second field goal. Went into overtime. We got the stop. I said, okay, we're going to win. And then the Noah Brown hands of bricks happened. It's an unfortunate game. It's one of those. This is the NFL. Like, they're not a bad team, and everybody's like, people were texting me, were like, "Oh, you guys lost to the Jaguars." Like, have you been paying attention to the Jaguars this year? They're not a horrible team.
If they win out, they actually are winning the AFC South.
Look, they're in playoff mode already.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to make excuses. We should have beat them. I do believe we're the better team. But they are in playoff mode already. Their mode is every week is a playoff game. We have to win out. We win out. We win our division. We're in the playoffs. That's their mindset. Cowboys don't have that mindset, obviously, but they should have. They should have like, hey, we need to win out to win the division as well. But, unfortunately, we didn't have that mindset. They came out desperate. And they didn't give up, and kudos to the Jaguars. No excuses.
Right.
They played a great second half and they won the game.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
We never should have seen overtime. Absolutely, never should have seen. We should have ran the ball, ran the damn ball. But
yeah, for some reason, and it's not even like the coaches. Like, I don't get it. The Cowboys like the history of the Cowboys, and you change coaches, you change quarterbacks, you change wide receivers, you change everything, and we continue to do it. When it's 3rd and short or 4th and short, and we only need a yard or two, I think it was 4 this time, but still it's short. And the Cowboys like to take deep shots, and I don't completely understand it, because you can change the offensive coordinator, you can change the head coach, you can change the quarterback. It's happened for years. And on that third down, we took a shot to Noah Brown. And I know that there are a lot of people saying that it was an option play. Dak could have ran it, but it doesn't look like he was looking to run. Just watching back, and they took a shot. They took a deep shot, and I get it. You're trying to win the game, but
forcing them to take that timeout.
Yeah, you got to force them to a short pass. That would be the perfect opportunity if you want to throw it, instead of just, hey, they're preparing for the run. If you want to throw it, try your wide receiver screen. because it's a high percentage pass.
Right.
And catch it, tell the guy to cut back inside. So if he catches it, he's tackled. It's inbounds. He doesn't get it. The clock's still running. They're forced to take that timeout. If they didn't,
Right.
if the Jaguars didn't have enough time, if they didn't have that timeout, they would not have had enough time. Unfortunately,
Right.
it came down to what it was, and they had that timeout, and it was a fourth down right here. Yeah, that's one thing I was thinking about too. It was a fourth down, fourth and short. I think it was like 4th and 1, and they took a deep shot.
Yeah. So do we look at that as game management once again?
Yeah.
And we know Mike McCarthy, you and I are always on the same wavelength with that. I don't like his game management whatsoever.
Yes. So here's the thing, is we know that Kellen Moore is calling the plays, but we also know, because Kellen Moore has said it and Mike McCarthy has said it, that they plan what they want to do each drive before the drive starts. So they come out and they say, hey, we want to focus on the running the ball. Hey, we want to do this. We want to do this. And that Moore calls his plays based on that game plan. Like you said, against the, what was that? The Packers game, the last one we lost. Mike McCarthy had told them prior to them leaving and going out on the field, hey, we're going for it on 4th down. If we get it a 4th down, we're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy already made up the mind that they were going to go for it.
We didn't defer.
That is the biggest issue I'm having with this team right now, and it is huge because it almost bit us. But thankfully, I mean, it almost bit us multiple times. But like it and what we're talking about is deferring. When you win the coin toss in the beginning of the game, defer. Don't choose to receive the ball. And the reason you do that is because you have the chance to double dip at halftime. So if you can get the possession at the end of the first half, you can score, and then you get the ball right back. Now, if you choose to receive, you're giving the other team the opportunity to do that. And it happens all the time. Teams double dip all the time. And it can change the momentum of the game. Say you're up 14 points going, half's about to close, or up 21 points, the half's about to close, and the team scores a touchdown right at the end of the half, and they get the ball back and they score a touchdown. Now they were down 14, now they're tied, or they're down 21, now they're down 7 in the third quarter.
Right. And Gregory, yeah, so we didn't get to Lawrence and he made us pay for it, but once again, for how many weeks in a row did we see that quick release was used?
Yeah.
That our pass rush isn't able to get to them because they're dropping that ball within 2 seconds. I mean, it's a one drop back, boom, quick release, the ball's gone to someone.
What will explain that to you is the fact that Micah Parsons got 1 sack, but he had 12 pressures. 12 pressures is insane in one game. So that's telling you that he's getting there. Just they're getting rid of the ball so fast. Right. Also, credit to Lawrence. He's a big, strong dude who's mobile. He broke a few tackles.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, 100%. We have to do better at bringing people down. 100%. Right. I will say that. Yeah. But he's a big, strong guy, and he breaks tackles, and he did a couple times. We do have to get better on that. We got to, once we get our hands on the guy, I think Osa, he broke a tackle from Osa. He broke one from Parsons, I know, which doesn't happen often.
Right.
But, and he was getting the ball off. I think twice maybe we wrapped him up, and he was able to get the ball off while being wrapped up. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, he definitely is coming into his own, and we're seeing why he was that number 1 pick. It took a while. But, they had so much drama there last year that some of that was understandable, that it's taken them a while to get to there.
This is an interesting comment. So Kellen Moore has the ultimate authority over the offense, and Jerry reviews it. I don't think Kellen Moore has the ultimate say over the offense. Just to let you know. Right. If Kellen Moore had the ultimate say over this offense, we would be running a different offense. Just to let you know. Right. And I know that for pretty much a fact. Yeah. This is not the offense that Kellen Moore wants to run.
Right. So we had some injuries. We had one in the first series, and it hurt. Not only did it hurt my heart, but it hurt our defense. And I've said this many times, all you LVE haters, it's time to stop because we exactly saw what happened to this defense when he wasn't on the field. And it was huge.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of stupid Kellen Moore hate going on in the chat, and it's annoying. But yeah, LVE going down was huge, and people have again another time where people hate this guy. They don't want him on the team. They want him gone. They
correlate him with Jalen Smith way too much, and they are not the same people by any means.
It is crazy how much you just saw with him off the field what happened. We have had a really solid run defense the last few weeks, and with him gone, and of course, yes, Jonathan Hankins was out. You saw that this defense did not stop the run very well at all. So LVE, his absence was huge, and you saw it from the first series when he went down.
And I think there was a lot of confusion because,
once
again, I've said once, his communication on the field. And I encourage you guys to go back, even just 2 games ago. And when you're watching them line up, he is yelling and he is directing. And he to me, he is the quarterback of the defense when they're on the field getting ready. And he's calling to everybody what's going on. And we consistently saw Barr out of position.
My goodness.
Constantly out of position on that.
So they attacked Barr in coverage, which is something that I was extremely worried about with Barr when we signed him. Like, hey, we can't let him be isolated in coverage. Sean McVay a couple years ago exposed Anthony Barr as not being able to cover. Anthony Barr was seen as this really good Pro Bowl, all-pro level kind of tight linebacker, really good rushing the passer. And then the Rams, they went up against the Rams in 2019 or something like that. And McVay exposed him as, hey, this guy, I'm doing everything I can to get my running backs and my wide receivers lined up against Barr, and just torched him. And ever since then, offensive coordinators have tried to do that. We've been able to mask that a lot with not playing him all the time or putting LVE in coverage or somebody else in coverage. Well, with LVE out, they had to use Barr more in coverage, and Barr really, really struggled in this game. In the run game, in coverage, he got beat deep for a 30, 40-yard gain, right. And then he got beat again for a touchdown later. Barr had a really, really rough game.
Right. And so we're going to be, we pretty much are down to hardly any choices whatsoever, that they are going to have to activate Cox, which will help because he is good in coverage. So that, from what we remember of him, he was good in coverage in that way. They did just sign Malik Jefferson back to the practice squad because both Gifford and Cox are going to have to be active. And so that sent one of the tight ends off, which makes we had a practice squad tight end that we released to bring Malik Jefferson back. But by doing that, that also makes me feel that Jake Ferguson was limited yesterday. It wasn't a full practice whatsoever. So that makes me feel that Jake Ferguson should be able to get through protocol, and we'll see him on Saturday.
I'm hoping. I didn't see this, but I heard somebody tell me this. Can you verify? Did they rule out LVE already?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so he's ruled out.
Yeah,
he's got a stinger in his shoulder.
Right, so which is great. It's not his neck, so that's great. That's fantastic.
Absolutely great that it's not his neck, and we don't have to worry about that. Not great that he's out against this team with their running ability.
Right.
Which we'll get into later.
We'll get to that.
We'll get into later.
Some of that's changed too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
But and if we go through the injury report right now for the Cowboys, we'll start at the Cowboys. Micah Parsons, I love you, but are you licking doorknobs? Why are you still sick? Why are you still sick, my love? We need you to get healthy. I'm telling you. Yeah.
I don't know. He's got to stay healthy.
Right.
Just some illness. He just can't get away from it. Stay home. Isolate yourself for the rest of the season. Something.
Pedialyte is your friend. So, Curse was limited, but that is still that same shoulder. It's nothing new that has come about that he was dealing with. Tank, they said his foot, but my belief and what I've been told was that's more like a whole body rest for him on this. And who am I forgetting? Darn it.
I'm not sure. Is there anybody else?
I can't remember what Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah. I don't remember about Dorrance either.
Yeah.
Well, and the final injury report will come out.
Exactly. The final injury report will be out. Yes, like minutes after we're done. So
let me see if I can find something on Armstrong.
Yeah. But yes, Mr. Parsons, get healthy. We're,
Yeah, it's Armstrong was limited today.
Okay.
So we'll have to see how he goes. Limited with ankle.
And yesterday was only a half day for them. So
yeah. So we'll have to see how he goes.
Right. Okay. So, okay, and then we're still waiting for word on T.Y. Hilton. If T.Y. Hilton is absolutely positively, from everything I've heard, it's a go that he will be on the field and help this wide receiver room that we know so desperately needs it, because I think it was Connor Livesey that put out a tweet that was pretty alarming that there, besides CeeDee Lamb, there's no one with more than, 56 yards that have been caught this season that's not named Lamb, Gallup, or Noah Brown on this team in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning. Look, Lamb is balling out. Lamb has solidified himself as a wide receiver one. He's over 1,000 yards already. I would love for his touchdowns to be a little bit higher, but 6 isn't terrible. And so Lamb is good. Gallup is supposed to be our number 2. Gallup is not back yet. He does not have his physical abilities back yet. I know he's out there playing, and I know.
Do you think it's physical or do you think it's mental?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Right, okay.
I don't think that he has his top end speed back yet. He is not able to go over the top of anybody. He can't take anybody deep right now. Hopefully that returns after the offseason, or obviously I hope it returns as soon as possible, but right now he just doesn't have his speed right now. He's just not getting open. He's not getting any separation, really.
Right.
That's a big thing. And that could be due to his speed physically, and also to his his mental ability of not feeling comfortable with his cuts and not planting on a knee, because a lot of the times how you get open is you sell your route and you make a good cut. If you're not comfortable in planting that leg and going stopping and going, you're not going to have a very good route, and you're not going to have the best separation. So he's not getting, he's making a lot of contested catches, which is, he does. We know that he has strong hands he has really strong hands when it's contested. So he needs more time, and I just don't know if the time is going to come this year or next year. And then Brown has been reliable this year. I get it. I know. I said before
first half he was fantastic.
Exactly. I said before the season started that Brown was better than most people thought he was. I think he has proven that. He has 500 something yards, 3 touchdowns. I think that's better than most people thought he was. And he'll get more. Dak is starting to trust him more. You saw he had a really good game. He had a touchdown in the first half, and he had the touchdown that gave them the lead at the end of the game. So he had a good game up until that moment. Now I get it. He's saying that, because of the defender that was in Dak's face, he didn't see Dak release the ball. He didn't see the ball until it was in the last second. You've got to catch it. It hits you in the hands. It hits
bounces
you right
off your chest.
Yeah, you have to catch that. I'm sorry.
Right.
And unfortunately, That's how it is. But if you get a T.Y. Hilton and he can show flashes of what he used to be, you're going to have an upgrade. You
Oh,
might even have an upgrade to a wide receiver 2, maybe wide receiver 3. It really depends on what T.Y. Hilton you're getting. He's going to be
and T.Y.
fresh.
Hilton can get separation. We've seen that for years,
Yeah,
that he
I
absolutely
don't
can.
I don't think he has the speed that he used to have, but even if you take a
His
little bit
route
off the
running,
speed,
though.
he's probably still the fastest guy on this team.
Yeah. And his
So
route running is
yeah, he's a
is
good
elite.
he's a very good route runner. So he's going to be able to get some separation. We're going to see how physically healthy he is. He hasn't been healthy the last couple of years. I know he's fresh. He's coming in. He hasn't taken hits or anything like that. So hopefully he can come in and provide some kind of spark for the wide receiver room.
Yeah, and he's going to give something else for their defensive coordinator to have to worry about, because I
Oh
think
yeah,
a perfect example of what we saw in this last game is that Gallup couldn't get free, and they were double, sometimes triple teaming CD.
oh
So
yeah.
they had
It's
they
the
had to
second half
go
of
to
the game.
Noah. They had to go to Noah in a lot of these situations. So
That's the thing, is everybody is complaining about the last play call, the one that Noah Brown dropped and went to. That was a great play design. Now I get it. You might not want it to go to Noah Brown. You might say, why isn't that going to Gallup, or why isn't that going to Lamb? I get it. But like you just said, they were double and triple teaming Lamb. They were looking for that to go to Lamb. So sometimes you go somewhere else. The play design was great. They made the defender go through 2 rub routes. So he had to go through a lot of traffic, and it gave Brown the separation. If Brown catches that, it's a first down.
oh
And
yeah, game was over.
you're 8
Yeah,
yards. You're 8 yards from Maher's range.
right.
So that's the play design worked great. It was fantastic call. Sometimes the players just have to execute, and you can't blame the play call because a player doesn't execute.
Right. Right. I agree. So we
What is
move on? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Let's move on to the big topic of this week.
Because we can
Um,
talk about this one for a while.
we can.
There is a lot to unwrap. Haha, presents. In this game that's going to happen on Saturday. And I think we'll just start off with the biggest news that we've had, of the week. And the irony of it all, that the first time we meet the Eagles, Dak is out. They get to face Cooper Rush. Well, now the tables are turned.
Yes.
And it's probably 99.9%, especially if you follow Vegas in the line, Hurts is not playing.
Yeah.
And to me, that changes so many things, not even for us, but for them too, having Gardner Minshew in.
Yeah, it really does. You're going to see, and like you said, Hurts probably isn't going to play. He's doubtful. He said he wants to play. He's going to try to play. Sirianni basically said this morning, like, hey, he's not going to play.
They really have no reason to play.
And there's not. And a lot of people don't want him to play because they're like, hey, we don't want him to get injured worse. And yes.
And it is his throwing arm. There was confusion and people weren't sure if it was the right or the left. It absolutely is his right and his throwing arm. So
yeah, it is. And look at, yes, they have not clinched the division yet, but they have a 3-game lead with 3 games left. Like, we'd have to win out and they'd have to lose out.
Right.
So yeah, it would be possible if they played Hurts and he got injured for the rest of the season. And, it's just probably not going to happen with them losing out. But yeah, it changes the dynamics of this game because Gardner Minshew obviously isn't the same type of player as Jalen Hurts. I love Gardner Minshew, and I hate saying that about an Eagle, but I really like his play. He's a good quarterback. But he's a different type of quarterback.
Right. I mean, Hurts is their second leading rusher on their team and has the most touchdowns.
Yeah, he
on their
runs,
team, and
he runs
so
the
that's
ball
gone
all the time. Every single time they're in third and second or shorter, they're doing that QB sneak. You're not going to have the same. If Minshew can get that, but you're not going to have the same efficiency of getting that as Jalen Hurts does. Any short yardage situation, you have to be worried about any situation. You have to be worried about, hey, we're guarding the receivers really well. We're playing great defense. Oh, Jalen Hurts just took off and ran for 15 yards on the first down.
Right.
Yes, Gardner Minshew can do stuff like that, but not to the same level. He's not the same kind of athlete. So you have to play this game differently. And the Eagles have to play this game differently. They're going to have their run game. They're going to try to establish their run game with Miles Sanders. But you don't have to worry about the RPO threat as much.
Right.
Remember, here's an example. Remember when we were playing the not the Cowboys. This is going to be an example from college. Okay. USC versus Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. If you watch that game,
Are you okay bringing that up?
I am.
Okay.
Caleb Williams tore his hamstring in the game, but kept playing. They were killing Utah with RPOs and with the threat of Williams running and him running. When he could no longer move, he could no longer run, Utah basically abandoned caring about what Caleb Williams was doing, and every RPO play call, they crashed and they went after the running back, because they knew, hey, Caleb Williams is not going to pull this ball and run. Now, yes, Minshew isn't in that situation. He's not hurt where he can't run, but you don't have the effectiveness of it. So the Cowboys aren't going to have to worry about that play call as much.
Yeah, because I was actually looking for either Curse or Parsons was going to end up, or Donovan Wilson was going to be a spy. And then that took away some of that safety help that I actually wanted pulled up towards the CB2 position that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yep.
And so that's a bit of a relief, and especially in a situation that, with, like we've talked about, LVE not being in there and Hankins not being in there, I'm going to need to see a really good game out of Neville Gallimore in this. We need
Bohanna, you got to step up.
And Bohanna's got to be up there. I mean, we need strong performances from these guys to make up for that.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Let's get into this. We're talking about Hurts and Minshew, so let's get into their offense versus our defense. Is it time to start talking about Dan Quinn and what's going on with this defense? Because it's not the same defense that was playing early in the season. And I get it. They have injuries. There's 5 starters currently out on this starting defensive team.
At each level of the defense. So it's not just like the line is hurt or something like that. There's, all the way through, there has been some kind of, especially that secondary.
Yeah, not many teams are comfortable stopping the pass when you have 2 starting cornerbacks out.
Yeah. And it's hard for your pass rush to be effective when they're doing this quick release. You can't get there.
Okay.
If they're releasing the ball so quickly.
And that's kind of what I want to talk about. Yeah, that's what
I
kind of wanted to talk about is Dan Quinn and adjusting to this. Okay, they're doing a quick passing. So our strength of our defense was our pass rush. Teams have adjusted, as they do. You have to adjust in the NFL to a quick passing game to get the ball out so that the pass rush can't get home. So a way to adjust to that is to move the cornerbacks up. We have been playing very soft coverage. Anthony Brown was playing super soft coverage when he was playing. And it's killing us with the quick release because our guys aren't able to react and get up to the ball time. An adjustment we might see, maybe Dan Quinn makes, is moving our guys up to play more press or closer to the line of scrimmage so they can't, those quick passes are now contested.
And Dallas Goedert is back and going to be active, and so we really are going to have to be aware of that in the middle there in those passes to Dallas.
Absolutely. And you have to worry. Okay, so when you do that, now you have to adjust the back end because your guys are playing up more. If the guy gets a free release, he can burn the cornerback more. So your safeties have to play a little bit different. Malik Hooker has to be more careful. You're going to want a Malik Hooker to play over the top of whoever's at CB2, whether that's Kelvin Joseph or I actually think it's going to be Nashawn Wright to start this game.
It could, and I do believe that Israel McCallum could be there too, and because
he might get the next shot. But if you watch the Jags game, Kelvin Joseph got benched after giving up his second touchdown in the third quarter,
Right.
and it was Nashawn Wright there the rest of the game. And you know what? Nashawn Wright did not play terrible.
It wasn't awful. In fact, I do have, let me find it. Pretty sure I have how he did. Sorry, guys.
No,
Looking
it's
through my
fine.
notes here.
I don't have the stats, but from what I don't remember him giving up that much.
It wasn't bad at all. It really wasn't.
And that was against the guy who was torching Kelvin
Right.
Joseph.
Oh, well, here it is. Okay, so he played 19 defensive snaps and was targeted 6 times, allowed 31 yards, but had 4 tackles. Not bad.
How many
I
catches?
mean, how many? It doesn't say for how many catches, but it was 31 yards. Targeted 6 times.
That's not bad. Yeah.
It's not that, not compared to what was out there.
Yeah, especially.
I mean, honestly, and I don't like playing the if game because, I'll say, if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass if he hopped. But those 2 touchdowns against KJ, we win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
especially that bomb where he bit so hard, like unbelievably hard, hook, line, and sinker on that fake on the out. He bit so hard. I don't even know what he was thinking. Like,
right.
And then just got torched for the touchdown. At that point, you need to know if you get beat that hard, tackle the dude. Right. Tackle him. I'm taking a flag. I'm taking 15 yards. I'm fine. Tackle him. I am tackling him 100% of the time. He should have tackled him, but he got beat so hard. And that is where the momentum, the stadium went crazy, the Jags went crazy, and their momentum took off after that play.
It did.
It
absolutely did. Yeah, so in this situation, you feel like Nashawn Wright's going to start, that he's the man for the job.
Oh. I don't want to say Nashawn Wright's the man for the job.
Well,
but I think he's going to get his shot to start, yes.
And do you leave him in every situation do you keep him at that outside corner, or is there any point in time that you're going to put Izzy in if we're running a NASCAR package, or if we're changing something up? Are you going to slide somebody else over there and try them there instead?
Yeah, here's the thing. I am having, if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm having Diggs trail AJ Brown.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. You need to keep him on that big-bodied receiver.
Brown. Yes. Yeah. And I'm having Nashawn Wright, or if you want to do Izzy, guard Devontae Smith. Now, I get it. That's not the ideal matchup, but Smith likes to go deep. And he's very good at jumping up and getting the ball in the air. That's something I think that Wright and even Izzy could help with, because they both are long. And they both got jumping height. So I think that could help. I don't know. I am a little bit worried about Izzy's and Wright's speed against a Smith. So that's why you have to have that help over the top. You have to have Hooker or whoever, watching over the top.
And is this a situation where that Alexander's going to be active and Mullins? I mean, are they just going to load it up and make sure they've got all the guys that they possibly have to go through?
I could see Alexander. I don't know about Trayvon Mullins yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about him, but Alexander might be, because he can play inside and out.
Yeah, yeah. And I would love 2018 Vikings Alexander to show up if we could. Definitely. And I said this on the show Tuesday with Stevie J. Wouldn't it be something if they do put Izzy on the outside and he just balls in this whole time we had CB2 just sitting there?
I really like Izzy, and he's shown a lot. He's shown the ability to go get the ball and everything like that. His one big issue was his tackling. He was more of a catcher than a tackler. Like, he wouldn't go and hit people, and as a safety, which is what they were trying to play him at, that's not always a good thing, to catch the defender and try to drag him down. But as a cornerback, it's not a terrible trait. and he's shown the ability. So, if they roll out there and Izzy's the first option, I'm fine with that. Just show me something.
And he told Kyle Yeomans this week, because Kyle asked him, would he be okay going out to corner? And Kyle said, absolutely. And Kyle said, so you how do you feel about it? And he says, I'm actually more comfortable at corner.
No.
So, I almost kind of feel like it's this Byron Jones thing where they tried to take a corner and make him into a safety, and they probably shouldn't have done it.
Imagine if we have Izzy and he is like a Byron Jones type of cornerback. Like, oh my goodness. Now, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I like a young Izzy. I like his ability. And if he can come out and he can play, like, hey, he can show out, because if he plays really well and you have Diggs, Bland, and him, that is a really good cornerback trio. Now, of course, it all depends on how Izzy plays or how Wright plays. Whichever one they're going to throw out there, hopefully we can get somebody that shows up and plays balls, ready to play, because we know now it's not Kelvin Joseph.
No. And yeah, he just needs to stay on special teams, and we'll call it good at this point in time. So
we have.
Do you think he's gonna be active?
I think he is, because he's so good on special teams.
Because on special teams, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so good on special teams that I think he will.
All right.
I don't want to call him a Chris Godwin, but
some guys are. I mean, it's not an awful thing. It's really not. I mean, he's made an entire career of it.
It's not an awful thing, but it is an awful. It is an awful second round pick.
Right. Yeah.
That's the problem, and that's part of it where I've been saying our second round picks, we have not been very well on our second round picks in our history. In the last 10, 15 years, the second round has not been kind to us. Now we have some Diggs, obviously.
Right.
Sam Williams, obviously showing potential, but in the last 10, 15 years,
Connor Williams playing for the Dolphins at center, like we never figured out, I guess.
Yeah, but we'll see how it works. But it's going to be an interesting matchup. The main thing is we have to stop the run. This Eagles offensive line is a handful, absolute handful.
Yeah, and where we're sitting with our linebacker crew right now.
These guys got to step up. Anthony Barr has got to step up. Clark has got to step up. Whoever's coming in on the rotation, if we got 3 linebackers out there, if it's Cox,
I'm sure it's going to be. I bet you they've got a combination of Cox and Gifford coming in. So,
man, if Gifford's out there playing snaps before Cox, I'm starting to get really worried about Cox.
Absolutely.
Because I like Gifford. Gifford is an outstanding special teams player.
Yeah.
Linebacker, he's just not there.
Right.
So if he's getting snaps before Cox, you've got to be scratching your head going, what is going on with Cox?
Right. And that's all. And and then does Micah play more of a linebacker position in this, because that room is thin and we don't have him on the edge, or is Dave going to go back to making him more of a Swiss Army knife and flip back and forth and not have him primarily at the edge?
You can't, especially with the Dorrance Armstrong injury, that really, I don't think you can move Parsons from edge. I'm fine with moving him around and every once in a while bringing him as a blitzer up the middle or something like that, but playing here and there. But Parsons is at his best when he can rush the pass rusher. So that's what I really want him to do. I mean, I'm fine with that, Chris. Cover 2 with Clark at the mic. That's fine with me. It's going to be a tough matchup offensively, even with Jalen Hurts out, because Minshew can sling the ball. Minshew can throw, and he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. So they have wide receivers. They have very good wide receivers. They have a very good wide receiving core. So it's going to be a tough matchup with our defense, with the number of injuries we have. And it's not as simple as, hey, Jalen Hurts is out, advantage our defense, because we have 5 starters out on defense. So
have they led a game to the point that they've pulled Hurts and let Minshew? Has Minshew been active within the season? So
this season, no.
No, you know what? I think I actually saw it. No, I think he might have. I think
he's active. I don't think he's played anything. Maybe
played anything.
I don't think so. but I could be wrong on that. He might have taken a couple snaps, handoffs or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him because the Eagles
So
haven't
then,
really been
I gotta
blowing
kind of
anybody out.
right, and I understand he is practicing, and he's practicing against one of the best defenses in the league. When he is at practice. Okay, so he is regular season 2 of 4 for 34 yards.
Yeah,
So
probably one
at some
game.
point in time, they pulled him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I just, I don't know. I need our pass rush to be a lot stronger in this game, because I think that is going to be a key to keeping him on his toes and making him have to make quick decisions. And
Yeah, we're gonna have to play
and
more.
take. No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying we're
No.
gonna have to play more press coverage. We're gonna have to play up on them a little bit more, so quick passes can't come out to open receivers anymore and crossing routes. The pass rush outside of Micah Parsons, like I said, Micah Parsons had 12 pressures last game. The pass rush outside of Micah Parsons needs to step up. We need Tank to step up and get some pressure. We need Osa to continue to step up and get some pressure, get some sacks. We need to rattle their cage, and it's going to be hard. I get it, because they have a really good offensive line. So, they protect their quarterback very well. So he's going to have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
There's going to be times where it just doesn't get home, and our secondary is going to have to hold up. That's
right.
That's
and for anybody that was looking at their injury report yesterday and was like, "Oh man, Minshew was out too." He was. I believe he was at Mike Leach's funeral.
Yeah.
So it was a personal day. So
yeah.
So, they're not on QB3.
So let's flip this and let's talk about our offense against their defense. Their defense is very, very good. Like you just said, they have an extremely good secondary. Slay and Bradbury are playing very well this year.
Right.
Their linebackers are not that great, but okay.
Well, everybody wants you to know that Hassan Reddick is Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that's not true. And they have a old but good defensive line.
Right. Their defensive line definitely has a lot of age, and
they can get pushed around.
This side of the ball is where besides the Jalen Hurts injury, this is where their injuries lie, is in their defense. I haven't gotten the update on Blankenship, but last I knew he was out last weekend. Not sure if he's playing this weekend. So that kind of helps us in the safety area. Robert Quinn went on IR, but and Garner Johnson's still out.
Yeah,
so
he will not play.
He won't play. But yeah, the age. So this is kind of one of the things I've been looking at their defensive line.
Garner Johnson had 2 picks against us last time. 2 of the 3 picks they rushed through were to Gardner Johnson.
Right. So one of the things I was kind of looking at is, with the age of this defensive line, how do you exploit it? How do you wear it down? What do you do?
To their defensive line?
Mm-hmm. I think I looked it up, and I want to say the average age of their defensive line is somewhere around 29 and a half or 30.
Yeah.
It's not a spring chicken line by any means.
Yeah, you run block. You hit them in the mouth. And you run against this defense 100%. You pound the rock. You let Zeke pound the rock up the middle. You let Zeke go around. Pollard go around the outside. Switch it up every once in a while. But you run the ball. They are not a great run stopping defense. They are a bad run stop. It's not even like, hey, they're okay. They are a bad bottom half of the league run stopping defense. Now I get it. They are better with Jordan Davis in, and Jordan Davis is out, but they're still not good with Jordan Davis in. So you pound the rock. Zeke had a very, very good game, an effective game against them last. Zeke always seems to play well against the Eagles.
And do you think it's any kind of big deal that they brought in Dominic Sue, or?
He's helped them with their run defense a little bit. Like since he came in, and who's the other guy that came in with them?
Was it Milton Williams?
No, they brought in somebody else. They've had Milton Williams. They brought in another defensive tackle to help with the run stopping, and it's improved a little.
Was it Joseph Linval?
Yes, Joseph Linval.
Joseph.
Yeah, Linval Joseph. Sorry.
Joseph.
They brought in they it's helped a little, but it's not helped a lot. They've played some good games. They helped out, and they held Derrick Henry a little bit, but that had a lot to do with them going up by so much real
Right.
fast. So I think that they definitely, with our run game, we can definitely run on this team, and you wear them out. That's how you do it, and you wear them out, and you keep our offense and their offense off the field. That's what you got to do against a team like this, is you got to pound the rock. And in the fourth quarter, their defense could be tired, exhausted, they're hurt because they're being hit, because our offensive line is really good at run blocking. Our offensive line is not so great at pass blocking.
Right.
So just keep pounding the ball. We got to hit them in the mouth. That's really what we got to do.
Especially looking at that side. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me geeking out, but to have Martin and Tyron Smith on that right side together, that's what offensive line dreams are made of.
Yeah, 100%.
To have those two side by side.
Tyron Smith was really good at right tackle. Really good.
Right.
Jason Peters was bad.
Not.
Right. At right tackle. Like, I know he played great in the Houston game for that one drive against Jacksonville. He did not have a good game when he was there. I'm hoping that they're like, all right, Tyron, you're feeling good. Okay, you're in for a full game again, because he was much, much better at that right tackle position than Peters was. So hopefully that can solidify us. I would still, doing that move, I would still put Peters in at left tackle and move Tyler Smith to left guard. But
because Tyler Smith did not have a really great game. He really did not.
Look, I'm sorry, people. I know you guys love him, and I know he's a first-round pick. He has a ton of potential, amazing amount of potential. Okay, and he's a great, fantastic run blocker. Tyler Smith is not a good pass blocker right now. He is not, and he is struggling. Okay. And he struggled badly against the Jaguars. And so I personally believe it's Philbin who, because we know Philbin loves McGovern and he wants McGovern to start, and this is his way to have him start. But if it was me, I'm putting Peters at left tackle, and I'm putting Tyler Smith at left guard, and I'm having a much better line. But
one thing that is kind of nice that we're going into week 16, and one of my biggest fears going into the season was center. And you know what we're not too worried about?
Nope.
Center.
So
shout out to Mr. Biotish.
Center and right guard have been the two best positions on the line. Yeah. Absolutely. So shout out. I was very critical of Biotish because rightfully so. He hadn't played well, but he has played very well this year, and credit to him 100%. I'm glad that center position feels like it is solidified. So yeah. So that's basically the offense and the defense. This is a very closely matched up game. Even with Hurts out, because we have so many injuries as well. Let's get into some predictions.
All right.
Do you have a bold prediction for this game?
I have two.
Ooh, okay. Let's hear them.
I have two. Because the way our defense has played the last couple of weeks, and I do still believe in Dan Quinn. And I do believe that Tank is in that locker room and he's firing up this defense. This defense holds them, and I can say this now. I would not be saying this if Jalen Hurts was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
With Jalen Hurts not in this game, this defense is going to hold this team to less than 300 yards offense.
Total.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And my other one, it's redemption. No, they've had two bad weeks. It is time. They are done. They're going to come in and they're going to show that this defense is still what it's known to be.
Okay. All right.
My other one is Mr. T.Y. Hilton is going to get his touchdown. He's getting one. I want to see it. I want to see it.
All right. So for me, I made a bad bold prediction last week. I said that Kelvin Joseph was going to get 2 picks. Instead, he gave up 2 touchdowns.
It was backwards day.
It was backwards. It was backwards week. So I'm going to say that the defense as a whole this week gets 3 interceptions. So the defense as a whole, everybody. So Diggs, Bland, whoever's this other cornerback, right, Izzy, safeties, everybody. We're going to get 3 interceptions this week. That is my bold prediction. This defense is going to give the offense a lot of the ball in their own field, and we're going to have some great field position this game. It's going to help out a lot. Okay, let's go to score predictions. You got a score prediction yet?
I do. I'm staying with the one on Tuesday that I said with Stevie J.
Okay.
And it is going to be this is another one, guys. We're going to be on the edge of our seats. There's not going to be anything comfortable. This is no blowout in either direction. 27-24 Cowboys.
Okay, 27-24. All right. How is that going to work out? Is it going to be last second field goal? Is it going to be a
It's coming down to the wire.
Last second? Okay.
It's coming down. This is going to be a brawl. It's they're not even are they saying this is the game of the week, but this is the game of the season so far. That I just don't see that it's going to be any either way kind of a thing. So yeah, it's definitely is going to be. I don't want to. So I'm going on. So immediately after this, like 45 minutes after, I've been asked to be on the Birds versus Boys podcast, and they're kind of doing, and they're calling it Hate Week, and going through, and I guess they've got like 20 different people from both sides and doing like little 20-minute segments. Kyle Yeomans is going right before me. I don't really want to call it Hate Week because I don't want to give them that much of my attention or just give them that much.
Yeah.
But this is definitely going to be a game that, I mean, and Santa and I have talked, and Santa knows what I have on that list. And there's a W that's on that list. So, and I'm on the nice list this year. Might be hard to believe, but I'm on the nice list. So we're going with this.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that it's a little bit more comfortable than normal. But nice. I mean, it's not going to be a comfortable game. It's going to come down to, it's going to be close in the fourth quarter. But you're not going to be sweating on the edge of your seat like you were against Houston and against Jacksonville last week. I'm going to say it is Chris came very close to my score, but I was 31-21, okay. a 10-point win. Just we were up by 7 and then kick a field goal kind of late, just to give us a little bit more of that comfortable, being comfortable and being able to relax a little bit and say if we won. This is a good question. We'll answer this before we go. Do you still think we win if Hurts played?
I have a hard time saying yes with Hankins and LVE being out and that mobile quarterback being our Achilles heel and being able to. I mean, honestly, we need to understand that not only did they lose their quarterback, they lost RB2 for them. In all honesty. So, yeah, I mean, I know it's at home. I know everything like that. And between that and the corner, cornerback 2, I don't think we would.
Yeah, it's difficult because just saying, hey, they get their player back. How is it? So it's hard to say, yeah, we're going to win with saying that, hey, we got our player back. They get their player back, but we don't get our player back or players back. So
Yeah, right.
it's hard. It's
Right.
really hard for me, like you're saying, it's
Yeah.
really hard for me to say, yeah. The if the Eagles just had Jalen Hurts and nothing else, he was inserted back. Yeah, the Eagles might beat us. They probably will beat us. But if you're also going to say, hey, we get LVE back, we get Hankins back,
We'll get
Dorrance Armstrong
Brown.
back,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
if we had a full healthy team, I would be like, oh yeah, we
Yes.
win this
Oh
game,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because
But
it would
just
have been
even,
more of the scenario like when we met them earlier
yeah.
in the season. Then yeah, absolutely.
But even that, just getting like LVE and Hankins and Dorrance Armstrong back, guys who aren't out for season, who are just out for right now, I would say yes, we would. But if you're going to tell me just Hurts coming back and not any of our guys who are on the fringe, then maybe not, because those are still impact players for us.
Right.
So that's where I'll go with that. But right now, I do have the Cowboys winning with Hurts out. And no, I'm not going to celebrate. I know some Eagles fans are like, oh, Cowboys fans are going to celebrate like crazy but Hurts wasn't here. Like you guys did when Cooper Rush was playing. But no, I'm not going to celebrate. I'm going to be happy we got to win. I'm going to, hey, we got to win. I'm happy. I'm not going to take it as anything more than that.
5 days we're heading to Nashville and we've got the Titans. So we've got a short week onto that. Be happy, celebrate Christmas, and then looking on to Tennessee.
Absolutely. So wrapping this up, I want to wish everybody here a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you enjoy your time. If you get time off, spend it with your family and friends. Just enjoy the season, and stay safe out there. It can get crazy out there at these times, so stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely, everybody. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family, and we thank you for being here with us once again.
Absolutely.
Go Cowboys.